Hi, my name's Adam, and today I'm going to be talking about the idea of love your neighbor. For our starting verse, we're going to look at Matthew 22, verse 39. This is right after Jesus has given the greatest command of love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind. Uh, and the second is like it, love your neighbor as yourself. One of the things that's come out of this verse that I particularly like is the memes. Since we live in the modern era, there's pictures all over the internet of funny things, and one of those is a painting of Jesus sitting on the rocks, teaching to the masses, and it's not like something you'd see in your grandmother's house or something. And it has up above Jesus saying, "Love your neighbor as yourself." Someone in the crowd says, "But what if they look different from me?" To which Jesus has the response of, "Did I stutter?" And I could always see that being an actual conversation in today's world, where people are trying to figure out, where do I draw that line? Who is my neighbor? And the short answer to that is anybody. Anybody is your neighbor, whether they live in your house, whether they are down the street, whether they are in your office, or if they're just the person you see going to Walmart to buy groceries. We are supposed to love them in the same way that Christ has loved us. And so that usually leads to the second question of, should I do this even when it's hard? And the answer is yes. Especially when it's hard, you should do this. Because we all know someone. We all know someone we don't really agree with, but we have to interact with every day. And so we are called to love them even when they don't agree with us. And so it's like, okay, well, how would Jesus solve this problem? What is an example? Well, we have a brilliant example in Matthew chapter 9, verses 10 through 13. This is when Jesus is at Matthew's house, and many tax collectors and sinners came to eat with him and his disciples. Now, if Jesus, the Son of God, can sit down and have a civil conversation and dinner with corrupt politicians and prostitutes, then you can have a civil, albeit maybe a little awkward, conversation with someone who voted differently than you. This does lead into what has been a problem lately of that idea of the us versus them mentality. The political world has gotten so divisive in how both sides think the other side is evil. It's, you don't support X, Y, or Z, therefore you are a morally bad person. Or, you don't support X, Y, and Z, therefore you are a morally bad person. And most people are just doing what they think is right. It's not a question of, I'm going to vote for this particular person and ruin it for everyone else. No well-adjusted human being is actually thinking that. And so it's just something we need to get past and begin to realize that other people are just doing what they think is best. So now we have this wonderful problem of, okay, we know what to do, but how do we do it? And the best way is another example out of Matthew. In Matthew chapter 5, we have, in verses 14 through 16, we have Jesus giving the light of the world speech. You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. And skipping down to verse 16, in the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. The best way to begin to work with others, to love your neighbor, is to be yourself, is to be what you are called to be. And just by your very nature of being light, you will change those around you. You'd be surprised how little you might actually have to try just to get people to be interested and begin to ask questions. And it will help you to grow because you will want to learn about them, get their side, and it will help them to want to grow because they'll want to know about you, and then they will want to glorify your Father in heaven. I hope that this video has been a blessing to everyone who has watched it. Thank you.